everyone, it's Linda. I'm bringing a special video to you guys here before our Wine and Wine episode, which is, I promise, will be coming. It's just still in production. This video is going to be all about energetic bullying. What does that look like? Are you in fact an energetic bully and you don't even know? How can that be possible, right? If you're a bully, you may not know you're a bully. But if you're energetically bullying somebody, how does that manifest? What does that look like? More importantly, why are you doing it? And I'm going to share with you some of my insights about it. When you're a baby and you're born into this human vessel, you have certain needs, like to be fed, your diaper changed, for love. You want affection. You want to have that security and sense of well-being. And the only way to go about getting these things is to learn different buttons to push. And a lot of times a baby will know how to cry to get the needs met. And if you're a parent, you know these cries are different. Some of them are whine cries, some of them are feed me cries, some of them are uncomfortable cries, some of them are just cries for no reason that we can't figure out. But as we get older, we learn from the time that we're little babies, we learn how to push certain buttons to get a reaction. And a lot of times that reaction is to fulfill one of our needs. As you're learning these things when you grow up, you learn from your caretakers, your parents, whoever's watching you and teaching you the initial constructs or limitations of this dimension that we're learning how to traverse as little ones. And we learn by people's reactions to an action that we take. And that action could just be pushing somebody's button. And you can fill in the blanks with all the differentials for that. So if you want attention and you're a child and you're not getting attention, you may misbehave or do something inappropriate or something that will get a reaction from your person or your people or your caretakers. A lot of times, as children are learning these things, they may get the negative reinforcement and they learn how to get attention that way, or they may get positive reinforcement, or whatever the feedback loop is that they get. That's the beginning of programs that you start to establish. And people can learn different, what we call defense mechanisms. And I'm just going to fast forward. I'm not going to go through the whole stages of life because that just gives you a little background foundation on where these programs start and how you can change these programs, especially if your behavior is not intentionally evoking a response from somebody around you that you want to get a reaction from, and you're just going back to these survival mechanisms. Because really, the energy that you're getting from other people, from these reactions, usually it's an emotional reaction of some sort that I'm referring to. A lot of times these reactions are unintentional in that we're not trying to steal energy from people per se, but that is in fact what you're doing. And it is, I want to say it's selfish, but it's not selfish in the conditioning that we know selfish to be. It's selfish in the sense that you're trying to fulfill your needs from other people instead of learning how to do it within yourself. And that is more selfless, to go inside for your validation. Now, people that are waking up, which it's been going on for a little while now, and it's been going on since time's been here, but we're having masses and huge groups of people that are waking up. And they're trying to live more spiritually, or they're looking for answers. And a lot of times people will look outside of themselves for answers, for solutions, for better ways to live. They're looking for that feedback of, show me another button to push. Show me a different way to get the reaction that I need. That reaction is that energy that they need to fulfill themselves. You may be looking for validation to say, you're a good person, keep doing what you're doing. Or you may need that reaction to say, you know what, your behavior's not so good, why don't you stop that? So behaviors can manifest in all different forms. We're a huge spectrum of behaviors and actions and reactions. And what we're looking to do is to fulfill the need for that life-sustaining force, that energy. And you can call it, it's been known by many, many, many names. Ki, Chi, Prana, universal life force, Christ, energy, you name it, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. We're going to skip all those labels and we're just going to call it the fabric of life, the energy that you need. You have a never-ending supply inside. You've been told many times, you've seen this probably reiterated, whether it's religious books or whether it's people talking on YouTube or gurus and teachers or whatever. You've seen it a million times and heard it a million times that you need that love. Love is energy, right? You need that to sustain. They say no man is an island, that saying, no man is an island. Well, yeah, no human can survive without love, and we're meant to be social creatures. We do need our isolation, that's true, but no person is an island. So what happens is you take two people and you have one person who manipulates to get the energy that they need. They're only doing what they know on how to get what they need. They may not intentionally be doing it. They may be awake. They may be woke. But you know when they say actions speak louder than words, if they're looking on the outside for that energy, for that reaction that they need to validate what they can provide for themselves on the inside, if they're manipulating somebody else, they're bullying them. They may not know they're manipulating. That's where the difference is. If they don't know they're manipulating somebody, here's a way to tell. If they over-dramatize their life in order to get an emotional reaction out of you, let's say they exaggerate or they over-dramatize things. They're saying, I need, because it doesn't matter what's coming out of their mouth. What they're really saying is, I need to feel more love. I need to feel more supported. But what they don't realize is you can't get that from somebody else. It may be a temporary fix, but they are still being the vampires. They are still being the energy stealers. They're still going about it from the unwoke, I'm going to say immature, but not to trigger anybody, but it is an immature way of getting your energy, stealing it from other people. That dissipates, that disappears. It's only a quick fix. You have a never-ending supply inside yourself to validate yourself, to fulfill your own energetic needs, to generate that energy from yourselves. And then your cup overflows and you can fulfill other people by shining that out, by giving that away, because you're never afraid of losing it. You're self-sustaining. You are a sovereign being. If you don't know what being a sovereign human is, look into personal sovereignty. Google it. Look it up. I have a video in the past about reclaiming your personal sovereignty, and I think it's my first one in my Down to Earth series. So feel free to check that out. There's a lot of information that's out there that you can get on learning how to become that sovereign being yourself, taking full responsibility for everything in your life. You don't want to be the person who's awake or just woke up or is walking like, sleep, half awake, half asleep. You don't want to be that person, because to the rest of the people out there that are awake, we can spot it a mile away. When somebody's half awake, half asleep, and they're still stealing energy from people because they are not validating themselves. It's easy to spot in somebody because their heart energy doesn't resonate at the same frequency level. And what I mean by that, if you're watching this and you know, then you know. But if you don't know, when you're waking up in the beginning, if you lie about something, or if you're manipulating in some way, or you're trying to steal it, the people that are awake can feel it. They feel it and they know it. They're already down the road on learning what resonates and what doesn't. And it's not just as simple as that. It's learning how to tune in on the inside so that your claircognizance is telling you, your internal highest source guidance system is on the on switch. And when that happens, you don't buy into the dramas unless you choose to, because people still live in this 3D world and we still need to choose to what we get involved with and what we say no to, or what we say no more to. And everybody is responsible for making those decisions in their own personal life. So if you are an energetic bully, you're still being selfish. And I'm not saying that, I'm saying this with all the love in my heart, because that's all I have to give is love, right? That's all we can give to each other is love. But we don't want anybody stealing it from us, because we're all capable of generating that in our own selves. And if you're still being selfish, it's because you don't want to do the inner work to figure out how to generate it yourself. It's easier for you to steal it from somebody else by manipulating their energy, and you're not doing it on purpose. And the ones that are, then, that's not who I'm talking to. You're probably not even watching this video. The ones who are doing it unintentionally, you're not doing it on purpose to manipulate, but what you're doing is manipulation. If you are telling somebody that's close to you that that there was a oh my God, like I almost died, or oh my God, whatever. It's over dramatizing. It's manipulating somebody so that they feel bad for you, or you're making them feel a certain way by withholding certain truths so you can skew your story to have a person react the way you want them to. Now, if you're doing this, you're a master manipulator because you're consciously aware of it, then you need to stop that shit, okay? I'm just going to put that out there, because there are people out there that know they're doing this, that they know they're manipulating, they know that they're presenting themselves instead of authentic and raw and real. They're presenting themselves as a victim of something, like everybody else did this, I didn't have anything, it wasn't my fault. We've heard this story over and over again. So what it comes down to is a person saying it's not my fault, and that's manipulation. You're saying that you're awake, or if you are waking up and you know that something came your way because you attracted that into your life for a reason. If you're not doing the inner work to figure out what that reason is, or how to grow from that experience that you brought to your own field, that you agreed to before you were born, if you're not doing the inner work to transmute that, to use the inner alchemy to transmute those energies, to stop that program from running on the inside, you have programs running. You are the master of your own domain. And that phrase actually has various meanings to it, but being the master of your own domain, I'm referencing to being the master of your own energy field, being the master creator of which programs run in your life and which programs you can say, no more, I'm done with this, delete. You can do that with the programs. It's conditioning. It takes practice. Like anything else, it's a discipline. Do you want to discipline yourself so that you can be the author of your own life? So that you can have the reactions that you are choosing instead of reactions happening knee-jerk in response to an old program? Or do you want to be able to reprogram yourself so that you can choose your reactions? And by doing that and becoming the most authentic, real version of yourself, you then become the master of your own life, not just your energy field, but what you choose to experience. And you can choose your reaction to things that are happening outside of your field. So you can change the rate of vibration, which then means that when stuff happens to people that you're close to, you might say, well, I can't control the drama in my life because somebody that I live with or somebody, close to me always comes in and has drama, and, their drama is affecting my life. So I can't control that. Well, that is like a victim mentality. And you're breaking free from all of that, especially if you're waking up. You're realizing that you don't have control over anybody else's life. Everybody has the potential to be the master creator of their own life. So when somebody near you, close to you, who lives with you, doesn't matter, when they bring in drama, you can choose whether to participate in that or not. And by participate, I don't mean, so by participate, what I mean is you can choose whether you allow yourself to get drawn into that drama field and be swept up in, oh my God, I'm so sorry, that shouldn't have happened, blah, blah, blah. you think you're being compassionate, so that's like this level down here, woke. But if you're choosing to be authentic and real, and you're not interacting with that drama, you can still listen and be empathetic. You can still have compassion, but you're choosing which reaction to give your energy to. It's not that you're withholding your energy, but you don't want to encourage people that are stealing it to be able to take freely of your energy. You don't want to be so swept up in it that you're not self-aware enough that your energy is being taken. You want to have that full-on control of your energy field. And you know what you can do, especially if you've been in this situation, you know what I'm talking about. What you can do is you can choose to give them energy and surround them in a bubble of love. If you're choosing to surround somebody who's going through a crisis or a drama, let's just call it a crisis, you can hold your ground and you hold your energy. So if you feel like it's being pulled at, you're not giving it to them that way. You're not giving it from their anchors and their pulls. If you see it energetically, you see it's like cords that they're trying to pull energy out of your chakra centers. You hold your ground, but you also choose to generate a healing tube or whatever that you are going to fire hose to them at that time to surround them with whatever healing that they choose to receive from you. And I say healing, I mean love energy, okay? So when you do that, you have a never-ending supply, so you can give that to them, but you're saying no to their hooks and their cords and their pulls. You say no to that. And that's the way it works. So you can become that master of your own domain in that sense. Now, it is challenging to not let people steal it, but once you get the hang of it and you start to feel what it feels like when somebody's pulling your energy away from you, and they got that cord in there, they got a hook in your chakra center, you may not see it, you may not have any experience with it, but when you start feeling that somebody's pulling from you, you kind of want to resist it first. The feeling is you start to get tired and you're listening, but you don't know how to stop the conversation. That's how you know you're having energy stolen from you. So take control of that. Start to become aware when that happens, and just use your imagination to cut those cords, set your boundaries. You can call on Archangel Michael for protection. You can call on your guardian angels or whoever you work with or believe in. And even if you don't, even if you're completely atheist, but you're still scientific and you're aware of energy fields, if you feel that your energy is being stolen, root down into Earth and ask Mother Earth, ask Gaia to help you with your natural defense mechanisms for your energy. Ask her to give the energy to the person if you're not versed or experienced in sending and giving energy on a multidimensional level. If you don't have those skills yet, it's okay. Ask. That's what prayer is. It's talking on the inside to the creator source. So you're asking creator source to fill somebody else. And those are, just a few little tips that you can do to help yourself. You can work on things in meditation. People don't have time to meditate, so I'm just trying to give you some tips on how you can feel when somebody's stealing your energy, what that looks like, and to be able to recognize when they're bullying you. You need to be able to start to say no to them stealing it. And that's for your own benefit. Because if they keep stealing from you, you're losing your energy. Especially if you're spending a lot of time with a person in your life who's doing this to you. So becoming real and authentic means, if you're one of those bullies, if you're not intentionally doing it, if you're intentionally doing it, then shame on you. If you're not intentionally doing this and you start to feel like, wow, I think I was just stealing somebody's energy there, because maybe you recognize that you used a trigger that wasn't authentic. That's how it should come to you. It's like you look at it like this, like, I just put on a mask of somebody that's not me. So look at it as putting on a mask, when a facade, like a fake identity of some sort, because you know that they're going to react a certain way. And you'll start getting hits, you'll start getting recognition when you do this, if you want to learn. And if you want to become that master, you're on that path, you want to become that master of your own energy field, you will recognize when you're doing this, and you'll start to be like, oh, I just did that. So that's good, because when you recognize something, you can't fix something you don't recognize. But when you recognize that you're doing that, if you lie about something, if you intentionally create an exaggerated point of view, if you mislead by withholding truth, those things you should become pretty aware when you're doing it. And if you're not aware, if you're aware when you're doing it, then stop doing that, for God's sake, right? Just stop. We don't need to have a society where people lie and manipulate and steal. That's not where we're heading. And if that's the earth that you want to help create, we're creating heaven on earth. We're creating our new earth. If that's the world that you want to create, then you're not going to be in the world where we don't lie, steal, and cheat and manipulate. As simple as that. So if you really want to get on with developing and evolving yourself to the best version of yourself, you'll stop doing those things, because we all have the conditioning of learning how to get responses. So there's not one person here on this planet that hasn't stolen energy from somebody else. But it's the act of recognizing it and stopping that behavior. That's what counts. You are multidimensional. We're so used to using language as our communication tool, but language is a barrier. So developing things like your telepathy skills, or start with your inner workings and identify what thoughts are yours, what thoughts are not yours. That's a good place to start if you haven't done that already. And I'm going to leave you with that, because I'm throwing a whole bunch of stuff out there, and I really wanted to talk about mostly just the energetic bullying, because it needs to stop. It needs to stop. You need to be able to identify what energetic bullying is when it comes your way, so that you can be awake, aware, and make a conscious choice, especially if you're the bully. So stop that. Let's move on. Can't we all be friends? Anyway, guys, I've been doing daily readings mostly. I skip a day or two here and there, but I've been doing that over on my Instagram. If you guys want to see daily, the tarot's been talking to me a lot lately, so I've been using those cards more than anything. I like my chakra oracle cards because I like to do that. I don't like to predict future, because we have the right to choose our own future outcomes, but I like to do it the day of, and I like to provide that for free over there on Instagram. It's going to help the collective in the long run with taking more responsibility for our own personal lives, so that we're not manipulating or exaggerating or dramatizing our lives anymore, and we're sharing and giving our energy to those that we love the most. I hope this helped. Wine and Wine's coming out with my kids. It's in production, if I didn't say that in the beginning. Have a wonderful day, and now that you know, you'll always know. I'll see you next time.